Welcome to the SelfActualize Podcast, where we explore the journeys, insights, and breakthroughs that lead to personal growth and success. I'm your host, Anmol, and a few weeks ago, I recorded a role play with the great executive sales coach, Bonnie Petrich. In that episode, I played the role of a new rep, and Bonnie coached me on how to build and execute a plan for exceeding my sales quota. Well, today I'm back with part 2 of the role play. So in this scenario, it's been 30 days since the initial coaching session, and Bonnie helps me overcome common roadblocks in pipeline generation, time management struggles, and the challenges of identifying customer pain points. Okay, so let's jump in.
Well, it's been 30 days. Here's our check-in. Let me know, how are you doing in increasing that pipeline?
So Bonnie, look, we need to talk. Right? I'm glad we're doing this session. So last time, we talked about a bunch of stuff. We came up with a good plan. We talked about me needing 128 million of pipe, which is 4x pipe to quota coverage, which totally made sense. So obviously pipeline generation is huge. We talked about strategies for that, and then we talked about the medic as far as advancing deals through the pipe and identifying the pain. All sound good, but I've hit roadblocks on like every single thing. I'm not getting the meetings. Haven't generated any pipe. I've been asking the right questions, haven't been able to identify pain points. And most of my day gets sabotaged with internal meetings and other stuff. So I don't even have time to work on the stuff that I need to work on. Like it seems like almost every day it's 3 p.m. and I haven't even done anything. And I only got 2 hours to be productive. Then I gotta go get the kids, and I don't know. I don't know what to do. I need your help.
All right. So sounds like, let me make sure I heard this correctly, is that when you are trying to grow your A accounts that we talked about, you're hitting roadblocks. You're not securing any meetings with the individuals in the A1, which is not giving you no increase in your pipeline. You're unable to find pain points in some of your A accounts and maybe your Bs. And you are being sabotaged by so many tactical activities and personal activities because you work at home that you find that it's 3 p.m. and your day is already wasted. May I ask you, did you post your number? Are you looking at your number every day, that 128? Do you have that still out there?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe not. So what I did is
Well, hold on. Let me ask you, do you have your goal posted that you see every day?
I don't, but I tried.
Oh, okay.
I tried. So what I did is I took your advice. I didn't have any Post-its at home. So I went to FedEx Kinko's. I bought the Post-its, and I wrote the 128 million, and then I put it up there on my monitor, and then it fell off. It fell off, and I put it back up, fell off again, and I think one of the kids took it. And so I had it on there for like a day, and I don't have it.
All right. So let's start there first. I know that sounds silly, but it's so important because that is your anchor to remind you of what's important to you. So let's get like a 3x5 card and then, use tape or put it somewhere even on the desk.
But I mean, I know I got to hit the 128. Isn't it enough that I just know it and it's in my mind?
No, you got to see it because that'll help you next in let's organize your day.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with the day first, taking that down, your sabotage day. Let's work on that one. And that is, we talked last time about, are you a morning person or an afternoon? When do you feel that you're the sharpest? Are you morning or afternoon or evening?
Definitely morning. Definitely morning, like before the kids wake up. That's my sharpest time. So let's say like 5:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. Yeah.
Okay. So that's when you're the sharpest, and that's when you have some time to work. Okay, fantastic. And then when do you have to stop and really focus on the kids? Because we want the work-life balance. That's really important.
Yeah. So unfortunately I have to, so here's the deal. I have time up until 7 a.m. or 7:10, because then I have to get the kids off to school and then I can work, but I'm like really distracted by them because they're running around all over the place. And then I kind of have to be done by 5.
Okay.
After you're 3. And then I can work, but I'm like really distracted by them because they're running around all over the place. And then I kind of have to be done by 5.
Okay.
And from 5 to 10 p.m. I'm with the kids, and then it's really hard to do anything after that. So that's kind of my day. So to cram all this stuff that I need to get done into those hours, it's just kind of tough.
No, so here's the thing about time management is that when you have a block of time, whether it be 15 minutes, 30 minutes, even 10 minutes, and you are 100% focused and have zero distractions, it's amazing what you can get done. In fact, if you read a lot of books on successful CEOs of companies like General Motors or General Electric, both of those CEOs have told that what they do is behind closed doors, they've scheduled 10-minute blocks where they are uninterrupted and they focus on one activity that moves their day, moves their business.
Really?
And so why don't we try something like that because you do have almost 2 hours in the morning from 5:30 to 7:30. So that's 120 minutes. And if you put them in chunks, because of where you can schedule appointments or reach out to the B's and C's, or maybe just check something off if you have to do an expense report, something, kind of fluctuate. But put blocks of maybe try 10 minutes first.
But I think like the problem, so that morning time is my goal is to always wake up at 5 and be at my desk by 5:30. But so tired from the day before and everything that, I snooze, and then I usually don't get started until like 6:15 or even 6:30. So, but anyways, that's like a separate topic. But then when I get going, I feel like I'm in catch-up mode because I have 120 emails that I didn't respond to the day before. So I'm like responding to them and I got more emails coming in. So during that time, I don't feel like I really do anything. I'm just kind of catching up from everything that didn't get done the day before. And then these meetings and then the meeting notes, and I don't know what the follow-up is because I had too many virtual meetings the day before and all of that stuff. I'm just kind of like digging myself out of a hole. And I can't really get out of the hole, and then the rest of the day kind of starts. So I feel like I'm running on a treadmill, and I'm not really getting anywhere. That's kind of part of the problem.
Okay, well, you're not alone. That's a very common problem, especially since COVID and everybody's moved into the home to do the work. We get a lot of distractions. So first thing is to make each day productive. The end of the day, you need to tell your brain, I'm done. I am done. And it sounds like around 2:50, you can say, I'm done. And what I'd like you to try, and we'll try it for a week, 5 days, all right? And I'll see how it works, is at 2:50, you say to yourself, okay, tomorrow, what are the 3 things, and prioritize the 3 things that I need to get done to help me get to that 128 million.
Okay.
All right? Just 3 things. Here's the trouble with to-do lists. They get so long.
Because my to-do list is 20 items.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous. And nobody can do that because then it just keeps growing, right? And then it takes a psychological
And honestly, what I
toll
do
on
is I pick the 20 like easiest stuff, but it's probably like the 20 the easiest stuff that doesn't really do much.
It's not moving the needle. It's not getting you to the point. So every night, 2:50, you tell your brain, I'm going to be prepared for tomorrow. And here are the 3 things that I need to do to make tomorrow a very productive day to get me to that 128. All right? And you got to get those done. And then after that, you can do whatever you want.
And then you're saying do those first when I wake up at 5:30 or 6:15 or 6:30 or 6:45.
Right. Get those done because then psychologically, then you are on your way to having an incredible day where you think, wow, this is really productive. I got those 3 things. It also helps you to laser focus in on exactly what you need to do to be successful at 128 million. So we're focusing on those activities that will drive that pipeline.
Okay.
And if you think about it, let me ask you, out of all the emails that you get every day, most people get 100 plus, how many of those are so critical? What percentage do you believe that are so critical that have to be answered immediately?
Yes, basically none of them, to tell you the truth. But it's just like, it's just anxiety inducing to see the inbox completely full.
Yeah, it is. And you're, again, it works out to be, I think the stats are 83% of most emails are just a waste of time.
Right.
They're not, and very few of them are where you need to respond right away. So just know that. And don't overpromise and if I'm going to get back to you right away, don't tell people that. Say,
Right.
I'll get back in 3 to 5 days or 3 days if it's not that urgent.
And most of
don't
it's
set yourself-
internal stuff. It's not even customers. It's
That's right.
internal.
So-
Like the partner person wants to talk, and there's this other person that needs an update on X, Y, and Z. It's all like internal stuff. The enablement team wants to chat with me about something. So, but I don't have to respond to everyone. I have to be responsive. Everyone is my customer.
Well, here's a little secret. If somebody really wants you, they'll probably pick up the phone and call you.
Yeah.
What ends up happening now is the habit is if I need people, I send out an email, and whoever responds, I'll take it. And a lot of people who are not really focusing on what's important and why the company hired them, because they hired you to sell. And, you can look executives in the eye and say, you hired me to sell. My activities are on focusing on developing my pipeline and closing business. And if you want me to respend my time working with enablement and doing all these other things, fine. But I'm not going to be able to do what you hired me for.
Right.
And you have to believe that in yourself and say, so it's the activity helping your company by building pipeline, closing business, because that's what they hired you for. And we get so much coming at us. We can spend so much time doing things that are non-sales related. So we have to tell ourselves, we know that we're going to leave things on the plate there. It's okay.
Yeah.
But let's focus on what's important to you first, and then your company. And that is getting your pipeline up to 128 so you can close and make 110% of your
Yeah,
quota.
I mean, I guess no one ever got fired for hitting their number, right?
That is correct. And you'll hear that a lot. Let's see. I was talking to a customer. I was doing my expense report. What is your manager going to go? No, I need you to finish your expense report. The priorities are always going to be, what are you doing with your customers? And you'll never get reprimanded if you're spending time with your customers.
Got it.
But if you're spending 80% of your time checking email, you're not going to get a bonus point for having 0 in your inbox every day.
I think my to-do list, I think that's a good point. I think my to-do list is way too long. It's like 20 things that I got to do. They never get done. Only do 12 out of the 20. And I'm usually picking the stuff that's easiest to do, but kind of low value, I guess.
Right, because you want to check it off.
Yeah, you want to check it. And then you add easy stuff just so you could check it off. And it kind of becomes a game, like a useless game that doesn't really help me.
Right.
So do you think 3 things is enough?
Yep, because I want you to focus on the 3 most important things that will drive pipeline, close business.
And I think that'll make me feel better too, because if I can knock that out before 7:30 a.m., then I feel kind of empowered and on top of the day and all of that sort of stuff.
Okay, so we have the 3 things. So let me give you an example.
Okay.
So whatever the one thing is, number 1, what I want you to do, and again, we're going to try this out for 5 days and I'll come back and check on it, but because you're changing your behavior. But one of the things I want you to do is whatever type of timer on your phone, on a watch, I want you to set up 10 minutes. And I want you to turn off, I hope you don't have it because it's a huge deterrent, is that little envelope that shows up that says you got a new message. You need to turn off your sound. You need to turn that off so you have 0 distractions, because for 10 minutes, uninterrupted, you are going to focus on this activity. And when you laser focus on an activity, the quality of the work soars. When people say, oh, I'm a great multitasker, you're inviting errors and all sorts of poor quality of work. You want to turn yourself into a single tasker. When you're a single tasker, you provide quality work and you can do it in less time. People think multitasking is a fast way. No, it produces poor quality. I
think that's a problem with me because we've got the email, because I have the 3 screens at home. So I've got the email up on one screen, then I got Slack up and everyone's always hitting me on Slack. Then I've got like my LinkedIn up. I'm looking up people on LinkedIn and then people are texting me and all of this stuff. So I just feel like I'm just so distracted. And when I'm in a meeting, there's too many other things that are distracting me, and then people are hitting me up on Slack, and it's just.
So turn it off, minimize it, put it down, turn your phone upside down so you don't see it, so that all those temptations of getting away from that focus activity. It might be really hard to say, hey, listen, I've got to really write some really good emails. I've got to maybe call this individual. I've got to be, really on my game here. I don't need these distractions.
Got it. Okay.
So, and then you might try to do something in the afternoon where you have 10 minutes because maybe you can't get a hold of this individual in the morning and maybe the afternoon is better. Or you try morning and afternoon, combination. But try blocks. What you can do is 10 minutes of heavy focusing, brain work, and then give yourself a break. Do a couple tactical stuff. Maybe check your emails for 15, whatever.
Right.
And then go right back into another activity, number 2 maybe. It might be 30 minutes where you're preparing a presentation or practicing a demonstration, whatever it is that, again, is uninterrupted. And I think you'll be more successful in getting those activities to help you get to the 120.
Okay. All right. Let me try that. And again, I need you to hold me accountable for this.
Right.
But I think that's good. So let me definitely go with that. The other thing I wanted to chat with you about is, okay, so that'll help me hopefully get more efficient. And I agree, I really need to figure out a way to focus in on the top 3 things that I need to do and knock those out quickly. But then I'm having a tough time with the pipeline generation. So we talked about this last time. We talked about going into those A accounts, talking to the stakeholders and my champions that already know, and getting their sponsorship to get me into other areas, to other accounts. Not other accounts, but other business units within those same accounts. So I've been trying to do that. And what happens is I'll end up, my stakeholder will say, yeah, let me introduce you to that person, or let me make the warm introduction. And then they don't do it. And then I remind them again, and they haven't done, they say they're going to do it, but then they don't do it. And then I don't want to be too pushy. So I don't ask them again, but it ends up not happening. So I'm not getting the meetings that I need, and I'm not generating the pipe, and I'm nowhere near getting enough opportunities to get to the 128 million. I mean, I've barely generated any pipeline over the last month. So I'm getting really worried.
Okay. So let me give you a potential solution to that. One of the things that a lot of people do is they'll say, when you ask them, hey, could you give me a referral? And they'll say, I would love to give you a referral, but it takes a lot of work and all that to do. So what you want to do is do the work for them. So if you're talking to your champion, I want you to email them a very short intro and say, here's exactly what I'd like you to send to Bob or to John or to Joan. And you've done the work for them. Stay on the call or Zoom or face-to-face and watch them send it to them.
Oh, so that's interesting. You want me to basically ghostwrite it for them. So whatever they would send their peer, you want me to...
A lot of times they don't know what to...
Oh, okay. And they don't want to do the work.
Right. Well, that too. Yeah. And you want to put that very important key, referral from meet, you in the subject matter for important meetings. Have a good subject so that that person that they're sending it to knows that that's the right
Okay.
So you do that for them and then say, hey, I've done the work for you. Can you send this out to Joe now? And now you're going to find out if A, they really do have a relationship with that person, or B, they're just lying to you because they're embarrassed they don't know anything.
Right. Okay.
And then that's a different situation.
Okay.
But most of the time, people would love to give a referral, but they don't know what to
do. Yeah, because they've all said they'd love to do it, or they'd be happy to do it, but then they just don't. They just don't do it.
Time gets by.
Yeah.
So do it for them and say, hey, let's just do this together. Here, I sent it to you. Can you just forward this on?
Got it. Okay.
And then all they have to do is forward.
And then maybe since that's a really important thing, I could do that as one of my top 3 things in the morning, like in that 5:30 to 7:30 time block.
Right. And the day that they forward it is the day that you should contact that individual.
Right.
And then just stay on and be politely persistent. That's what successful salespeople do, is they're politely persistent and using different medias, voice, email, text, even the written word. LinkedIn, all those different medias, but if they do the reference and then your email to them is per John's or Joan's reference, then they'll get right back to you. And then send a calendar.
Yeah.
Put something in, make it easy for them to meet.
Because then they don't want to look bad in front of their peer either. Right. Okay. And I should definitely ask them to CC me on the warm intro.
Yeah. Well, you can set that up in the email. Yeah.
Okay.
Just say forward this and CC me. Yeah.
Okay.
And if they don't, you can BCC.
Okay.
You know?
All right. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Let me try that. So the other thing I wanted to chat with you about, so obviously just struggling with time management and too many tasks and anxiety and all that stuff. So we've talked about that. We talked about the warm intros. The other thing is, with Medic, and a big portion of that is really identifying pain, really identifying the pain point in the account. So I'm really having a hard time doing that. So let me walk you through this. I'll be on with a customer. I'll be on with one of my stakeholders I'm working to deal with, and I'll ask them, hey, what's your pain point? What's your migraine level headache? And they don't really say anything. Or a lot of times they're just like, I don't really have a pain point, or or they kind of like give me something that's not very specific. In any event, I'm having a hard time. I'm asking the question, but I'm having a hard time getting to the pain. They're not giving me their pain, and I don't know how else to get it. So I'm kind of swinging and missing there.
All right. So let me give you some advice
Okay.
here. If you're, so it's great that you're asking, but let me turn the tables on you. If you have a pain that's embarrassing because you are not confident in your job or you don't want your boss to know about it, are you willing to share that with an individual that you really don't know that well?
Yeah, probably not.
So most people don't volunteer their pain. So because it's embarrassing, or or it's a great deterrent to get salespeople to go away. No, I'm good. I'm fine. So a great strategy to overcome that is to let them know that in their position and in their organization and in their industry, they're not alone. They've got other individuals who have the same pain. So you might want to use AI to do instant research. And let me give you an example. If you have a vice president of manufacturing that sells, tools, makes manufacturing of tools, you could go in an AI, a Claude or ChatGPT, and say, what are the top 3 challenges today in 2024 of a vice president who's in charge of manufacturing, who has the following responsibility in this industry? Because you really want to get down, and they will give you some reasons, top 3. Then you look at the top 3, or maybe they give you 10 if you ask for 10, whatever. And you say to yourself, does my solution map to any of those pains? Can I help them with any of those pains? So then, okay, I can. Those are the things you want to talk to them about. So if you're my customer and you're the VP of manufacturing of these tools, I would say, listen, I've just been doing some research, and you're not alone. I did research on VPs of manufacturing in the tool industry, and here are the top 3 challenges they're having right now in 2024. 1, and you tell them 2, 3. We always 3 chimes, 4 alarms. People remember things in 3. Which one of those are you experiencing in your operations today? Now they have a choice. And I guarantee they'll probably have one of those. Can you say, because they know they're not alone having that, they're not unique. And then you would say, the reason why I'm bringing these up is that my solution actually can impact all 3 of those. And I don't know which one is more top of mind for us to discuss in today's meeting. So that's a great way to get them to start talking to you about that.
Yeah, I guess just asking them, hey, what's your pain point, or what are you struggling with, isn't probably the best.
No, nobody's
the best question no one's going to say.
Because you're not a psychiatrist, and they didn't pay, like, who are you?
Well, actually, the other thing is, and this is a good point, because we have a library of some of these case studies and wins internally also. So to your point, I do have a manufacturing customer. We have manufacturing related case studies and wins. We went into this manufacturing customer and they were struggling with X, Y, and Z pain point. We went in and we were able to solve that pain point, and now they have such and such ROI and such metrics. So I could always use ChatGPT, but we have some of that stuff already built. I could even proactively position that with the customer and then use that to draw out their specific pain point.
So I wouldn't be don't give away everything all at once, because what you're trying to do is just to get them to start talking about their situation. So you want to find 1, 2, or 3. And one of the great ways to do that is, if you think about it, everybody has things that are thrown to them daily by their boss, by the head CEO. So what's top of mind? Because something's top of mind. Whatever's top of mind for an individual is something they want to solve right now. And what you want to do is find what's top of mind of the individual that you're working with. And if you can ask them, hey, what's top of mind? They may share, but most people, they're hold that close to the vest. So you have to say to them, here are some areas where people have been struggling, and here's some creative ways that my solution that we've been able to be successful in solving that. And then watch their body language.
Okay.
Because the minute you hit the right one, they're going to change.
Right.
And they're going to lean in. They're going to be way more interested in what you have to say. And bingo, I've got the right
Right.
one.
Like, don't just ask them questions, but it should be a give and take. Ask them questions, but then feed them some insight or feed them some sort of value that you've learned from other customers, because I'm supposed to be an industry expert. I'm supposed to be helping them as a consultant, right? The challenger sale. And so weave that stuff in, and that'll like hopefully draw out the right pain point, right?
Yes. And here's another thing in your arsenal of questions. Tell me more, and pause. Pause is your best friend, because it gives the customer time to think, gives you time to think. And when a customer asks you a question, you want to pause to show respect that I've heard you, I'm listening to the question, and I am coming up with the best solution of an answer that will help you, versus just something random top of mind for me to give you an answer as fast as possible. That's kind of disrespectful to that question. But how do I get people to talk? Because the more information your customer shares, the more information that can help you make your deal larger and close faster.
Got it. Okay.
So you've got to get them talking. And sometimes we get so excited when we hear something, we go, oh, I know the answer to that. I got to tell them. And you've missed an opportunity to get some really critical information. So if they start going, pause and go, that's really interesting. Could you tell me more? And it's so powerful. My mantra is be interested, not interesting. Because when you are interested in another human being and they know it, they're going to feel very comfortable in sharing a lot of great information with you. But if you're just being interesting and saying, look at how much I know, and here's all about, I'm doing all the talking, you're going to get 0 back.
Okay. No, I think, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better about this stuff. Let me go back.
Good.
I can kind of feel like we came up with a good plan, and I think it kind of went awry, but I think I was doing some things that weren't. Yeah, I think you're definitely course correcting me here. So.
All right. So I will check back in a week, and you're going to, just to recap, every night around 2:50, when you just close your day, you're telling your brain, I'm closing my day, but I am prepared for tomorrow, because I'm putting the 3 things that are most important for me to do to get to that 128 million, which you're going to have off a Post-it and put by a 3x5
Yeah.
card, so you can see it every day, because that's your beacon, that's your goal, that's something you told me you want to achieve. That's fantastic. And then you start your day, and when you're doing an activity, get rid of those distractions, put a timer on, say, I'm going to focus uninterrupted in 10 minutes. You will be surprised at how much you can get done in uninterrupted time.
Okay.
And then you're going to, when you're asking about the pain points, you're going to have some examples with stories and say, which one is top of mind? Which one is important to you right now? You know what? I think number 2, I'm really interested in that. Oh, why? Tell me more. And then when you're asking to speak to other people within their department, you're going to say, no problem. I'm going to email you an example. This is just, go ahead and forward it to whoever. Just put that in. I've done all the work for you. Because how can they say no to you?
Right. Makes it easy for them.
That's exactly right. Because your job, again, is to
Make it
them look
easy.
good. Yep. And my job is to make you look good. So you got this.
All right. Thanks, Bonnie. Let's sync up again. Keep me accountable if you don't mind between now and our next meeting. And looking forward to our next meeting in about a month. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into this role play with Bonnie. Hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. We'll be back in a couple weeks with another role play, so please watch out for that episode. And don't forget, if you're ready to take your self-development to the next level, visit SelfActualize.ai to explore personalized coaching from world-class coaches like Bonnie Petrich. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next week. Until then, keep growing and reaching for your potential.